It's Jay, the insurance guy, here to help you because sometimes insurance is only as good as the agents. Today I want to talk about something that we should all talk about, and that is heart coverage. If you don't know by now, heart attack and stroke, as well as cardiovascular disease, 1 in 3 deaths in America is usually related to one of those 3 things. And what you need in place is something like our heart aid that can help you in a time of need. Now, I'm going to read a few stats off for you. 92.1 million Americans, that's 1 in 3, are going to have cardiovascular disease in their lifetime. Nearly 800,000 strokes happen each year. That's 1 stroke every 40 seconds. And these stats are from 2017. The new stats are 1 stroke every 36 seconds. After the age of 40, the lifetime risk of developing cardiovascular disease is 65% for men and women. And females have a higher risk of lifetime stroke than men. Right now, it's the #1 killer for females, and that's heart attack, stroke, or cardiovascular disease. Now, if you don't remember anything that I'm talking about today, remember this. Nearly 40% of the cost associated with heart attack, stroke, or cardiovascular disease and fighting it is non-medical expense. That's out-of-pocket expense. You have your medical expenses, which are the hospital bills, the doctor bills, but that money goes directly to the hospitals and directly to the doctors. And then you have your non-medical expenses. According to the American Heart Society, that's over 40%. Who's going to pay for that? Well, possibility is it's probably going to be you, and you're going to be unexpectedly having a financial burden when you really don't need to have that at that time, if you don't have any heart coverage in place right now. Now, some of those gaps are insurance shortfalls, which are limitations, co-payments, deductibles, of course your transportation back and forth for your treatments, hotels you may have to stay in, special diets you may have to take up, family care for someone to take care of you, as well as everything still has to get paid. Bills still have to get paid, the house payments, the car payments, the utilities, things still have to get done in your family. And who's going to pay for that? Well, more than likely your assets, or what most people do is get supplemental insurance, and that's what we have here. This is our heart aid. I believe it's the best out there. If you find something better, please let me know. I would love to see it. Now, the first thing that's going to happen is if you get a heart attack or stroke or any type of covered heart disease, you're going to get a $4,000 benefit to help you in the time of need. All you need is a positive report from your doctor, and we'll get you that $4,000 benefit. Now, there are other benefit levels, but I'll cover those in just a little bit. Right now, we're going to talk about this specific benefit level, which is a level 4 benefit. Okay, so you're going to get $4,000 for your lump sum diagnosis payment. Next, you have your inpatient benefits, which is $400 per day for days 1 through 90. There's also extended hospital confinement benefits. If you don't know anybody who's ever had a stroke or some type of a heart attack, sometimes you're in the hospital longer than expected trying to recover. I've known people like that. So this benefit can also help you for days 91 through 180. There's an $800 per day benefit up to $72,000. And God forbid if you're in the hospital more than 6 months, there's a $1,000 per day benefit up to $30,000 per month. And there is no lifetime maximums on those benefits. Also, the benefits will also pay for any type of government hospital, like a VA, of course. And then for inpatient drugs, there's a $100 per day benefit. For an attending physician, there's a $100 per day benefit. For a private nurse, there's a $500 per day benefit. For ICU, there's a $600 a day benefit, or for subacute ICU, there's a $500 per day benefit. For extended care facility, there's $150 per day. For a hospice, there's also a benefit built in, $100 per day for days 1 through 90 and $200 per day for days 91 through 180. There's an observation unit benefit of $150 a day for those hospitals that won't admit you, but they will put you in an observation unit. And once again, if you don't know about that, some insurance companies will not pay for observation units. We do. For this benefit level, it's $150 per day. These are the surgical benefits, and these surgical benefits are payable for inpatient and outpatient treatments. Now, these surgical benefits pay up to $9,200 for this benefit schedule. Once again, we also have other benefit schedules. This one pays up to $9,200. Also, the anesthesia goes up to $2,300. For your second and third opinion, it's $300 per opinion. For blood and plasma, it's $100 per day. There's also travel benefits, which is $250 for an ambulance, or for an air ambulance, $500 per trip. Also, there's transportation benefits, which is 60 cents per mile, or actual charges up to $1,500 for plane, train, or bus. Also pays for a family member to travel with you. And also for a family member lodging benefit, $100 per day if someone needs to stay overnight. There's a wellness benefit built in, which I believe everyone should take advantage of that. That's $50 per person per year just to get your normal screenings. And then an annual checkup, God forbid, if you were to have a heart attack, stroke, or some type of cardiovascular disease. Then every year there's a $100 benefit just to make sure that you're okay. And once again, these benefits have no lifetime maximums. We also have extra protection that you can add as a rider up to $50,000 for any type of heart attack, stroke, or cardiovascular disease that you may have. You can add up to $50,000. This will also cover bypass, stent, or TIA or angioplasty as well. And it also has a reoccurrence benefit. If you don't know how that works, basically sometimes nearly a third of all heart attacks and nearly a quarter of strokes are those that actually come back. And that will pay for it. If you're 5 years free of a heart attack or stroke, you can get half of whatever of the initial lump sum amount. So let's say you get $4,000 to start off with. You have a heart attack, we get you that $4,000. 5 years later, you have another heart attack. Well, at that point in time, you'll get 50% of that cost, which will be $2,000, and you can add extra protection up to $50,000. Now, these critical conditions pay for major organ transplant, paralysis, blindness, coma, sorry about that, diabetic amputation, or Alzheimer's disease, since they were able to diagnose that as well. I would suggest always adding a critical conditions rider on, because anytime there's a heart attack or stroke, that's just the first of some things that can happen. So you can always add that rider in for extra protection up to $50,000. Now, here are the advantages of your heart aid policy, which I believe you should definitely have. One thing is your benefits are paid in cash to you or whomever you choose. The benefits are paid regardless of any other insurance you have. Some insurance companies, if they know you're covered somewhere else, they will not pay until your other coverage runs out, or unless they know that you're not covered. We're going to pay this money to you regardless of any other insurance that you have. Also, the benefits are not going to be reduced just because you get older. Your certificate, your coverage will cover you, your spouse, and your children. It's not going to increase just because you add a newborn, you have another child or 2 or 3. It's not going to increase. Also, the premiums are not going to increase due to your age. And one big thing is you can guarantee that this policy is going to be renewable for life. So you can keep it as long as you live, and the price is never going to go up as long as you keep renewing the policy. Now, this right here is a huge factor that I believe nobody else in the industry can touch, and that is our cash value benefit. So let's go down here. Let's say you pay X amount of dollars in, you have no claims, which I want for everyone. I want everyone to be healthy. You're going to get 100% of that money back. What do you have to lose? It's kind of like a savings account. You don't ever have to use it. You get 100% of that money back. Well, let's just say, for instance, you pay X amount of dollars in. You have a small claim, maybe a silent stroke, maybe a light heart attack, And guess what? We're still going to pay 100% of your money back. Let's say, for instance, you pay X amount of dollars in, you have a very large claim. But guess what? No matter how much we pay out to you, you're still going to get 100% of your money back. That means you're going to get all of your money back regardless of the claims that you make. That's why no one else can touch this policy. If you're 59 years or younger, you get 100% of that money returned back to you in 25 years. If you're between the age of 60 and 69, 100% of that money returned to you at 85 years old. If you're anywhere between 70 and 80 years old, you get 100% of that money returned to you after 15 years. There's no one in the industry that can touch that type of cash value benefit where we're going to give you 100% of your money regardless of claims.